click your three dots and you can pin yourself. Got it. Now we're being recorded. Now, what you can also do, oops, come on, sorry. You can also write, why is it not going? Now I've got Ken pinned to the top of my screen. So if you want to rename yourself, you can also do what you're going to do. Let me do, you've got your view. So you should be able to just click on your name or mute or unmute yourself. So if you click on those three dots, you should have the option to rename. So click the three dots at the top right corner of your photo. So your beautiful face. So smile at yourself, click the three dots, click rename. And for privacy purposes, what you're going to do is you're going to put your first name, and then you're going to put kind of what you're looking for. I'm going to change mine to Megan, Marketing and Communications. Or we could do something crazy fun today. If you want to, if you have less than 500 followers, like if you're within like 15 of getting to 500. Hold on, let's see. If you're within 15 of getting to 500, go ahead and put your number of followers you have, and let's see if we can get you up to over 500 by the end of the call. So.
All right. Thank you, Megan. It was really great to have a little bit of time as a buffer so I could kind of go through, and I was getting the live stream set up on YouTube. And by the way, this will be live streamed on YouTube. If you do not wish to appear publicly, hide your video now. If you don't want people to know you're on the call, you can hide your video or rename yourself. I saw somebody putting Scooby-Doo and you made me smile. Whoever that is, Scooby-Dooby-Doo. I love you, right? Thank you for doing that and for making me smile. And it's perfectly fine to rename yourself. The names will only appear. Actually, they do appear on YouTube. I'm looking at our YouTube stream right now. So they do appear on YouTube if you have your name on there and your video. If your video's turned off, we don't see either one of you. I want to be found. David Mills, we should all want to be found because that's what we're here for. We are here on today's VIP Job Seeker Office Hours because we are supporting, finding ourselves in a supportive, ongoing community. My brain's not working. Can I start that over? Can we do a take two? All right, take two. Good morning. This is Brenda Meller. Welcome to Friday VIP Job Seeker Office Hours. As we are getting started this morning, I want to welcome you and thank you for making this a part of your day. You may not want to be here, and I get that. Actually, I don't want you here either. My goal is to see you going back to work and not needing this group anymore. But in the meantime, we are here for you. We are your team. I know we all work in a workplace at one point where we were part of a team, and one day you were part of a team and then the next day you weren't. And it's really weird to go from, you know, giving your blood, sweat, and tears for a company and your employer, and then one day being told you're not there anymore. Either because, you know, the economy or a pandemic or whatever reasons, you know, sometimes bad management, right? And I can't believe, I mean, some of these organizations, like, how do you go from like being fine to letting go 1,100 people? I just don't, like, it boggles my mind. How did you let it get that bad? And then you had, like, why didn't you make changes along the way? And it's just, you know, it boggles my mind.
Brenda, this is Paula. It's worse. It was 11,000.
Was it 11,000? I'm like, was that Facebook? I'm like, how does it?
Yeah, it was 11,000, not 1,100. Not to make it worse.
I don't know. You know, I'd like to think there's a better way of doing things. At any rate, I want to keep this all positive and uplifting. And I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you. I see we've got 44 people on the call today. I'm going to go through really quick. And I want to say good morning and welcome to Kenneth, Sue, Megan, Eleanor, Amy, Angie, Anne Marie, business strategist. Love it. Chris, David B, David M, Dawn, Dean, DS, Elizabeth, HH, Ivan, Jane, Jeff. It's shifting around on me here. Joel, Joey, Jude, Kira, Laura, Lisa L, Lisa V. We've got Club Lisa in the house. Maria, Mindy, Nancy S, Nancy A, Nancy Club in the house as well. Paige, my intern, joining today. Paula, Retha, Rosemary, Sarah, Scott, Stuart, Tom, Val. Val's got $4.99. We're going to get you to 500, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. Veronique, if I'm saying that correctly.
Veronique.
Veronique, I love it. It's beautiful, but my brain wasn't
very unique.
We're going to talk about name pronunciation on the call after we do invitation strategy in just a second. Wendy and Vic, good morning and welcome. I am delighted to see all of you. Part of the reason I do that is I want you to know that I saw you on the call. I want you to know that we saw that you were here today. A while back, I was talking to one of my son's high school teachers, and the teacher on like the last day of the school year, he would say, pay attention to the kids in the hallways that aren't talking to people, that never seem like they're walking with people, because there may be a day that they go into school thinking no one's going to know if I don't come back here tomorrow. Right. And I don't ever want anyone to feel that way. I know that when you're in career transition, it can be very isolating. Used to be in part of a team environment, going to a workplace and having a job and a thing to do. And now you may be at home and your family and your kids and everybody goes off for the day and you're still here. And you're feeling like nobody would even notice if I wasn't. And we notice, and we want you to know that you're a part of this community, that we do care for you. And there are so many wonderful people that are a part of this group. And I created this community and I continue to offer it Friday after Friday because of that. I do not want you to feel like you're alone in this, because it can be so isolating. So thank you all for joining us here for today. I want to start right away with an invitation strategy technique, because I know there's a lot of you on the call that are not yet connected with each other. As I am sharing this with you, I want you right now to go into the chat and to introduce yourself. So if you have not yet done this, this is the format that we do in the call. I'm going to drop mine into chat right now as an example. You don't need to say, hi, this is Brenda Meller, because Zoom already says your name. And by the way, you're not Brenda Meller. I'm Brenda Meller. You don't need to say your name, though. You just want to go right into a short and sweet introduction to tell us what is your targeted job title. Tell us one or two. Tell us your targeted geographic area. Where in the world are you located, where you be working out of for your job? And then put your LinkedIn URL. Make sure it's the full address, including the HTTPS, because when we're inside Zoom here, we can click on it and we can go to your profile. And I'm going to find somebody's profile on the call right now to go on and to invite to connect. And I'm going to practice this technique that I want to see all of you doing when you are connecting with one another, which is always including a personal note. That's going to help increase the likelihood that people are going to accept your invitations. And it's also going to help to build some rapport with the new person. And by the way, this is also like my little hack. I don't know about all of you. My brain is not good with the memory things sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes I might connect with Rosemary today, and 6 months from now, Rosemary, I'm going to be like, how do I know her? That's not just me. I know there's a lot of people that occurs to as well. So give me just a second to find somebody I am not yet connected with. I'm clicking on a couple of your links right now in another window. And as soon as I find someone, I will pull it up. Elizabeth Christie, could you please put your URL in again, but make sure that you grab the HTTPS so that it's clickable, because right now we can't click to go to your profile without it. That's a little Zoom technical thingamabobber. All right, let's see one more. And then I might have to have someone raise your hand because I'm having a hard time. We're all connected. All right. Who am I not connected with? Someone raise your hand and I'll pull your profile right now. Who am I not connected with? Who's not connected with me yet? Don't be shy. Come on. There's got to be somebody in the group here. No?
Apparently they all reached out to you.
They can't.
Oh, you know what? Can we do a pay it forward? Can we all reach out? So Ethan Carino.
I
Did
found
you find someone? Okay.
I found someone. Okay, here we go. Let me go back into my Zoom window again. Share screen. Alicia, I'm pulling you up on screen. I hope you don't mind. You have no choice, Alicia. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm demonstrating right now the technique for including a personal note when you send out invitations. When I go to Alicia's profile, I'm going to go on her profile. If you ever see them coming up, like people also viewed where you can like click on connect, don't click on connect there. You always want to go on their profile. Okay, I'm doing this from the desktop. In the phone, the process is a little bit different. On the desktop, I'm going to click on the blue connect button. Now, if you land on someone's profile like mine, who has follow instead of connect, you can still connect with them. You just need to click on the more button. Okay. And underneath the more button, you'll see an option that will say personalized invite. So that's how you get to that area. In Alicia's case, I do see the blue connect button. So I'm going to click on that now. Now, LinkedIn gives me a message that says your invitation's almost on the way. You can either add a note or send. And the blue send button looks like that's what they want you to do. But I want you instead to click on add a note. I wish they would highlight this one in blue because this step is so important. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to manually type this in. You're going to type in hi, first name, whatever the person's name is. Then you're going to remind them where you met. In this case, I'm going to say we met on today's Friday VIP job seeker office hours. And then I'm going to ask for the connection. Let's connect on LinkedIn Brenda Meller. Now I'm going to put this into chat so that if you want to follow my format and literally copy and paste, you can, but change Alicia for the person's first name and your name instead of Brenda Meller, because then they're going to go, my name's not Alicia and nor are you Brenda Meller. And they're going to get really confused by that, but at least you can see the formula. The process for mobile is just a little bit different. You still want to go on the person's profile, but when you get there, don't click on the blue connect button. You always want to click on either the more button, and in your phone, it might be the 3 dots. You might not see a more button. You see 3 dots instead. So that is the process to invite people to connect. Megan, did I cover all the steps? Because you said, make sure you bring this up in the call. Did I cover everything you think is important? About
and
that?
I think there's two other hacks I use that have helped me that we've talked about. If you want to continue the conversation with someone, ask a question in there in that initial one, and make it either about their profile or something about them. Do not make it about you. It's short and sweet about you. It is always, always, always about the other person. To be honest with you, full transparency, if I see more than 3 eyes in like hi, I'm so-and-so, and I saw you this and I saw you that, I'm like, did you even look at my profile, or is it what I can do for you? But my favorite end to it is, hey, I'm impressed. It's impressive that you've done work with X. If you'd ever like to have virtual coffee and chat about it, let me know. And then if they do want to have virtual coffee and they reply, I drop a Calendly link in there, and Calendly is free, and people can automatically schedule a virtual coffee with you. So yeah, Brenda, you covered everything. Make it about them, say your thank you, and remind them where you met.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to ask Paige to drop the YouTube link in here because I just went through that pretty quickly, and you might go, wow, that was cool, but what did she do again? The YouTube link for the playback for today will allow you to watch this again and again and again. And by the way, you can share this YouTube link along with other people who are job seekers as well. All right. Before we start going into Q&A and success stories, and if you know what to do, go ahead and drop those in chat right now. Before we do the Q&A and success stories, let's see, a couple more things I wanted to cover off in here. We've had a lot of people on our all-star lineup recently. I did get a suggestion from someone to maybe pare that list down a little bit for the purposes of the calls, so that we can get through more questions without having to get so many answers on there. So the all-stars that are on the call here today, some of you might say, yep, I want to participate. I can stay on for the full call. Others, like Kenneth, is shaking his head no. He might say, I can't go on the all-star lineup today. So if you are one of my all-stars, could you use the raise your hand feature right now and let me know if you would like to participate in the Q&A, the helping out with the Q&A. So go to the reactions at the bottom and just click on raise hand like I'm doing right now, because I want to see how many people are able to help out with our questions today. All right, perfect. We got 4. So this is awesome. So we're going to have you 4 up on screen, and we're going to try to move through questions a little bit faster so that we can get more answers answered today. Megan, I'm going to keep you on deck if you don't mind. Okay, because we have 4, and then I really like the way that 4 video panels look on screen too. It's like the aesthetic element of having 4 of them up on the screen. All right, so if you do have something additional to add and you're not part of the all-star panel, use that raise hand feature. And after we get through those 4 people, we will call on you and you can contribute to the group. Does that sound okay to everyone? Give me a thumbs up if it sounds okay. You can use your thumbs to do the thumbs up. Look at that. Great. Awesome. All right. So the way that we will do these phone calls is this. We're going to do questions first, intermixed with success stories, probably. So if you have a question, I want you to go into chat right now, and I want you to type the word question in all caps, Question, and type out the full question that you have. You may have a question about using LinkedIn for your job search. You may have a question about your resume. You may have a question about negotiating benefits. You may have a question about your career strategy. I'm not finding jobs or opportunities or whatever. Whatever your question is, I want you to type the word question and then type out the full question. That way, if we can't get to you, we will still have people who can see your question and who can respond to you during the call. Sound good? Okay. Second thing we're going to do is success stories. If you have a success story, I want you to put the word success in chat right now. SUCCESS in all caps. A success could be, I got a job. This is the last time I'm going to be on the call. Sayonara. See you people, right? It could be, I got an interview. Things are happening, right? You got your pom-poms going. You're excited about it. It could be, I am negotiating salary, benefits, things like that. It could be people are starting to notice my profile. Hey, this stuff is working, Brenda. What you told me to do is doing the thing, right? Or it could be, something else that you deem to be a success on your path of finding a job. So if you have a success, I want you to put the word success in chat right now. Before we do any of that stuff, I want to see how many of you are new, first timers joining us on the call here today. If you are new, put the word new, N-E-W, in chat right now. And I may call on maybe one or two of you to briefly introduce yourself. So I have to say, Veronique, did I say it correctly? I want you to unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself because I want to show the name pronunciation feature as you are telling us. But please tell us how you heard about this group and then give us your brief introduction, job title, targeted geographic area, and then hopefully you've dropped your LinkedIn URL, but I'm going to have you drop it again in chat when you're done. So go ahead and tell us about yourself.
Okay. First off, I am hard of hearing, so if I missed what you said, that's because I'm trying to hear. Okay. How I heard about you. I'm actually in another job accountability group. It's a personal one that we developed off of a training session. So 2 members there told me about you, and they had rave reviews about you. That was I think Eleanor O'Brien and Val Ryan. I just want to give them a shout out. Okay, myself, I'm Veronique Fazell. I'm based in Houston, Texas. I am looking for a financial position where I work with business managers, project managers, doing not the accounting side so much, but more of the analysis, the scenario planning, things like that. There's so many new things out there that new thought ideas and new tools. I kind of like to now involve those. I've been automating all the work that we've been doing, and we should be pretty much automated. But anyway, that's what I'm looking for. Did that cover the ground?
Yes, you did a great job. And I want to say thank you for taking the moment to introduce yourself. Let me pull you up in gallery view because I want to have us go side by side as I'm doing this next part. I want you to pull out your phone right now. Veronique, did I say it correctly that time?
Yes.
Veronique. Okay. How often do you get asked, did I say that correctly?
That's Veronique.
Veronique?
My dad always mispronounced my name. He always called me Veronique. So
here's what I want you to do, Veronique. I want you to go to the LinkedIn app on your phone. And by the way, the rest of you can follow along with us. I want to show you how to add a name pronunciation to your profile.
Oh, okay. I'm on my desktop. Would that work?
No, only on your phone.
Okay. Well, my phone, maybe my iPad.
Okay, then let's do this. I want you just to listen to me and to watch me as I'm describing this. And by the way, I did add transcriptions. Are you able to see those? Are those enabled in your view on Zoom right now?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Full transcript. Okay.
Okay. That should be working. Let me know if it's not.
Let's
see. It should. And
okay, it's working.
Okay, wonderful. And Veronique, you are able to download the transcript at the end of the phone call if you would like.
That'll be good. That'll be good. That helps.
Yeah, and I think the process for downloading transcript, I believe it's the same as downloading chat. Does anyone know for certain how to download the transcript? If you can, unmute yourself right now, please.
Exactly the same, Brenda. It's exactly the same.
Who's that speaking right now?
Nancy, IE.
Nancy, how do you download the transcript? Can you tell us?
It goes into Finder.
So is it under
Brenda, sorry, you have to open the
transcript. I see it. There, I pulled up the full transcript, and at the very bottom there's the word save transcript.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'm trying to be very inclusive with what I do, and that's part of the reason I do the transcripts. I am also the type of person, when I watch TV, I watch TV with captions on because I always find that I learn something, and people process differently. Some of us process visually, some of us process by reading, and there may be people who are hearing impaired or have screen readers that are helping them to translate what's on screen. So thank you for being on the call to allow me the point to make an emphasis on this. So let's talk about name pronunciation. If you do have a name that is difficult to pronounce, or that people are frequently saying, did I say that correctly? Either your first or your last name, there's a feature on your LinkedIn profile that you can add in a name pronunciation. You can only do this recording at this time on the LinkedIn mobile app. Hopefully they'll enable it on the desktop in the future, but on the LinkedIn mobile app, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your profile, and at the top in the white section right underneath your header, there's going to be a little gray pencil icon. You will click on that gray pencil icon, and you will be in a section of your profile that says edit intro at the top. You'll see first name, last name, and right underneath that, you'll see a name pronunciation field. If you have not yet done a name pronunciation, you'll see a link that will say add pronunciation. Mine says your audio recording because I've already uploaded it in here. So what you'll do is you'll click on either, add that pronunciation, and it'll give you a button that will say record new pronunciation. And you have up to 10 seconds to tell people how to say your name. Now, my name, for example, Brenda Meller, is not frequently mispronounced, but sometimes I get Miller or Mueller. Sometimes people read it too quickly. So what I like to do is in my name pronunciation soundbite, I give them a little like an auditory cue how to say it. And here's what I do. You can listen to mine as an example, but I'll say, hi, this is Brenda Meller. It's like Keller, but with an M. And as I'm saying this right now, you'll notice I'm speaking in that name pronunciation recording at a slightly slower rate of speed because I want you to be able to process what I've just said. Okay. You get up to 10 seconds. So my little bonus for you is to tell people what you're looking for. Hi, this is Brenda Meller. It's like Keller, but with an M. I'm seeking a marketing director position in Metro Detroit. You can do that in 10 seconds or less, and you've just promoted what you're looking for in there. As soon as you click on save on your profile, you'll see next to your name, there'll be a little speaker icon. And let me share with you my screen right now, just so you can see that up on my profile. And now anybody who's on your profile, they'll see that little speaker icon and they can click on it and it will play. Let me see if this works right now. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
Hi, this is Brenda Meller. It's like Keller, but with an M. Click more and message me if you need help getting a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie.
There you go. 10 seconds or a lot. You can cover a lot in there. So you can promote a little bit about what you're doing in your job and whatnot. All right. So we've already gotten 2 things out in this call today. We learned about personalizing invitations and we added in the name pronunciations. We're now going to start to move into our Q&A. And thank you, Veronique, for being a part of us. We're going to remove you from the spotlight here. I need my all-stars to raise your hands again because I don't remember who you are because my name, the memory with the caffeine is not making the clicking thing today, right? Where it's happening. You know what I'm talking about, right? Add spotlight. Okay, here we go. We got Jude on the spotlight and we got Joey on the spotlight. We're like Hollywood Squares, right? Do you guys remember that show? Is that still on? Is it on like TV Land? No, it's gone. That's sad. All right. So we're going to do Q&A and success stories here today. I'll probably go back and forth between both, and I've got them in another window. If you have a question, type in the word question in all caps, followed by your full question. If you have a success story, I want you to put the word success in all caps, followed by the success. If anybody would like to volunteer to be my helper to find these things for me in chat, that would be awesome. I'm going to scroll down and look through them right now. Remember how we used to have a volunteer and I'd give like something away? I didn't plan well enough in here today.
Oh, the luck is if you volunteer, you also often are the next one in the group to land a job.
Ooh, that's right. Now do we have a volunteer? Let's see here. Success, Amy Kinney. Down. What's your success story, Amy? We want to hear it. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Brenda. Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Great. So I've actually been looking for a job since I was laid off in August. So it's taken quite a while and I have applied to a lot of places. I don't have a job yet. However, In just the last 2 weeks, I've had a ton of traction. It's been very exciting. Just starting on like October 30th, I got an email back about an interview. I had 2 major interviews that week. I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I had 2 more phone screens this week, one of which is moving on to the next stage of interview. So I went from having like 1 sort of maybe job prospect to like 4 good ones and then a 5th maybe in 2 weeks. So it's really exciting because I had been getting, a little depressed about how long it was taking to find a job, and it was kind of overwhelming. And coming on these calls has been really helpful just to get the tips and also just the support. So for anybody who has been looking for a while, sometimes it really is that it never rains, but it pours. So it takes a while, and then suddenly a bunch of things hit at once. So if you are in the calm before the storm where things get crazy and exciting, it will come your way. It just sometimes takes a while. So thanks to everybody who's been so supportive on these calls. And I'm hoping that in the next few weeks, I'll have even more successes and we'll be able to tell you that I've gotten a job. So I'll keep everyone posted. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Amy. What I heard there, the success is momentum. Momentum is happening. And don't you kind of feel too, Amy, like, you said when it rains, it pours. I'm going to add you to the spotlight because I see that you're on video here. When it rains, it pours. It's like nothing is happening. Nothing's happening. And then everything is happening all of a sudden. And then you're interviewing and then, we talked about this week because we had a phone conversation. And it's like when I ran track in high school, I was never very good, but I always finished my races. And my track coach would always say, run past the finish line. You don't stop. And it's the same thing when you're finding a job. Don't stop interviewing and don't stop searching for a job unless you have a job.
Oh, absolutely.
Was there anything that you did differently recently that you think could have been a reason for some of these opportunities coming up?
Honestly, no. So I'm sorry, I don't have any.
That's okay. It could just be timing, right?
It could just be timing. One of them was an opportunity somebody had contacted me about 6 weeks ago, and it just took a really long time for them to post it and then get back to me. The second opportunity I had applied for in August, and they had hired someone or put out an offer and it fell through. So then they were going back to their candidate pool, and they had originally auto rejected me and said that thanks, but no thanks email. And then I got a phone call saying, hey, we're going back through this process again. Yeah. And so the 2 opportunities this week, one person reached out to me and another was a contact at a company when I was looking through things on LinkedIn. So I think sometimes it's just timing and persistence.
Can I ask a question? When did you start coming to our group, our Friday calls?
I want to say it was probably late September, early October.
Let me just draw a conclusion that may not be the case at all. When did these opportunities start heating up for you again?
Very end of October.
All right. I'll let you guys all conclude what I'm just concluding there. I don't know. Sometimes you learn different techniques when you start incorporating activities that increase your visibility. And sometimes that might be it. I'm going to take a little credit on this, Amy. I can't make a direct correlation, but I'm going to say, it could be the fact that you started trying some different things around the same time, one of which was coming on these calls. And maybe you started accepting connections from more people and interacting with more people. I don't know. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, Megan. When we had people volunteering to help me on these calls, what would happen inevitably is the next month they would get interviews. And then a couple months after that, they wouldn't be on the calls anymore because they got a job. And I don't know if there is a direct correlation or not. I'm a big believer in social media karma, and whether you're a religious person or a universal thought person, whatever, I think there's something that is to be said out there. When you try things differently, you get better results. And sometimes when you pay it forward and help others, the universe rewards you, and that positive karma comes back to you. But I'm not going to take full credit, but I want to take a little credit. I want us to have this group take a little credit for helping you and for
absolutely
along the way, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Yay, pom-poms. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Okay. I do see a question coming in here from Business Strategist, who has chosen to remain anonymous. Business Strategist, would you feel comfortable unmuting yourself and sharing your question with the group? If not, I'll read it from chat, but let me see if you'd like to do that.
I'm here.
All right. What's your question?
I put in an interview last night. I have a first screening call in an hour. Awesome. And so I was looking for, are there any quick tips about the best ways to research a company? One person was kind enough to drop something in.
All right. Best ways to research a company that you have an interview for
Quickly.
in an hour. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
All right. Sue Griffey, what advice do we have for our friend?
I'm gonna paraphrase something Brenda said in the past, although not on 1 hour. Get the job description out and figure out what the key mission and early indicators for them first 6 months of the job for your job, but as well as the company. That would be really targeted research that you can make sure you can address in an interview. What have you done for me lately? And what can I expect if I hire you? That's mine.
Thank you.
Joey and Jude, can you go while I get my dog real quick?
Sure, I'll go. If this is a public company and they have a 10K, I would certainly go there and look there, figure out what they're all about, learn about the risks in their business, in their industry, learn a little bit about the industry, what the competition is, things like that. If it's not a public company, just Google it. And the question you asked us, ask Google. Google has a ton of information. That may not be more readily available to you, but at least it's a place to start. You also could, if you wanted to, if you're a strong LinkedIn user, type in that company's name and find out who you know that either works there or has worked there, or maybe knows somebody that works there. With less than an hour to prepare, pressure's on, but those are suggestions from my end.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I will make sure that I take note of that, and anything you guys share with me, I'll share with the next person.
If you get the job, we want 10% of your first paycheck.
Done. It would be worth it. Okay, so I got to hop off to prepare. This was my first Friday, but I'll be back.
Can I give you one thing?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Was that Megan?
It was Megan. I was going to say the other thing to follow Joey's suit. If you go to LinkedIn or you go to Google, click the news tab on Google to skip some of the garbage. So type in your question, but go directly to the news tab, and that'll kind of pare down the data for you. So
I was going to say something very similar to that, and that is go on their social media for LinkedIn and see what they posted about recently, just so you know what the company news is happening. If they're not active on LinkedIn, go on Facebook or Twitter or some other place. Good luck with your interview, though. That's so exciting. I hope not to see you next week because you've got a job, but you are welcome back here every Friday.
I just want to add, even if I do get a job, I will listen to this and come back because I have other people who are doing the same thing.
All right.
I want to add something very quickly, and that is if the company website has a blog or newsletters, those are also great places to see what's happening, because that would be like very, very current information.
And
good luck.
That's also what's very important to them, because that's what they're posting about. So you want to know what it is that is important to them. So I think that that's a huge bonus to look for.
Fabulous. I will notate all of this, and I have a niece that's looking, and so when you help me, you help about 10 other people.
Well, you look lovely. Good luck with your interview.
Yeah, you look great.
Friday.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Bye.
Doesn't she have an amazing Zoom background too? Her lighting, everything looks really great.
Yeah,
I know you need to leave. We're just going to brag on you for a second here, because that's what you want to do in an interview. You don't want it to be like, what's happening in the background? Is that the dog running
before
back
I hop
and forth?
off, can I show you what I'm using?
Please do. Go ahead.
Okay.
This is like bonus stuff, isn't it? It's exciting to see. And I love that she's got like some greenery. She's got an interesting piece of artwork. Looks like she's got a ring light. Did you just see it going across the picture? That was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sue,
wow,
that's a great
light.
idea. That's a post.
And when you get the lighting, I always put it on warm, because it's not so much about visibility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in marketing and branding, can you tell? But anyway, it's not just about clear visibility, it's about cues. So this plant, I'm a plant person, this warms it up, I'm framed in the frame. And when I put on the light, I put it on warm as opposed to bright.
Love it.
Okay.
That looks
I
great.
hope that helps somebody.
All right. Fingers crossed.
Bye.
Good luck. Good vibes your way. All right. Let's see. I'm going to keep us into this view because I liked how 6 looked instead of 5. Success story from somebody with an SH name. Who was that? Sharon. Was it Sharon? Sharon has a success. Sharon, can you unmute yourself and tell us what your success is?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can. What's going on?
Good. Yeah, so I somehow managed to turn heartbreak into positivity really quickly because I had this amazing interview with this job that was like the perfect fit. It was so incredible. I couldn't believe it. And they approached me. I didn't even go out and look for this. So it was so exciting. I made it to the last round. I was like in the top 2 candidates, and they chose the other person. And so I was so sure that I was going to get to this 3rd round that I had reached out to 3 people and said, you know, could you give me a reference? And these were like executive level people. And they said, oh, yes, we will. And then I had to go back and say, you're not going to get the call, right? So one of them said, oh my gosh, maybe I have a connection who's looking for someone. So she went out, and 2 days later, she came back to me and said, you know what? Somebody I know is looking for someone, and I think it's you. And so then I just had that interview yesterday, and it went really well. So that's my success.
That's awesome. I see Sue nodding like she wants to say something. Sue, do you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to reinforce something that I think we all forget. And when we're not chosen, that isn't the end of the pathway. And you reaching out to your references and then telling them you didn't also help them realize, oh, maybe I can do something. Because in their mind, oh, I'm going to give her a reference. So it's just the power of the network and of keeping people updated and informed in different ways. So thanks.
Yep.
I mean, great for you. I was giving you pom-poms.
Thank you.
I'd also like to add that, you know, if you really want that job, keep in touch with that person that you had the interview with. Share information that would be of value to them, because you never know when somebody might not work out.
Right.
And, you know, they might call you.
Yeah, I'm connected with them on LinkedIn now, and they're interacting with my posts, which I find interesting.
Wonderful. Well, good luck, Sharon. It sounds like you've got some positive momentum that's happening from here, and you've taken some lemons and made some lemonade out of it. And by sharing here within the group too, hopefully you'll get some additional suggestions from others as well. All right. I'm going to keep us moving here. I saw someone suggesting, hey, can we take a moment and recognize all of the veterans, because today is Veterans Day. So I want to see if I can swap us to gallery view. If you are a veteran, if you feel comfortable letting us know, could you wave your hand or use the little hand wavy feature? Retha is a veteran. Thank you for your service. If there's anyone else that would like to identify themselves as a veteran, and so we can acknowledge you for your service, you can either wave like Retha just did right now, or if you want, you can go into the reactions inside and just maybe put let's do the celebration, because we're celebrating veterans today. Use a little celebration, a little pom-pom with the confetti on there. And I think there's a way you can just go into the reactions and you can add that so we can see who you are. So I see Becky is a veteran. Thank you so much, Becky, for your service. Jeff is also a veteran.
Sorry, I'm not a veteran. I thought we were just all celebrating, so I put that on.
Oh, okay. Well, we can all celebrate. Let's all celebrate that. And by the way, I don't know where you are all located. I want to show you that there is an offer right now with, let me try to get back into this. Grand Traverse Pie is, you know me, I love my pie, right? Grand Traverse Pie. If you go into a Grand Traverse Pie Company location, you get a free slice of pie today. Here in Metro Detroit, they're in Plymouth, Michigan, Ann Arbor, I think Rochester. There's a store or two up in Traverse City. I don't know where else they are located in the world, but if you're aware of other offers that are out there for veterans, you can post about them on LinkedIn today. It's a great way of showing visibility and kind of showing some of those offers and things that are coming on out there. So thank you to all of you who are veterans for your service. Please acknowledge and stop and think of that today in your travels across online and otherwise. All right, let's see. Success story. We're going to move to questions. Another question came in from Jane. And let's see, Jane, if I can find your question again here. Jane, can you unmute yourself? Because I think your question was about, what do I need to do to my profile now that I'm looking for a job? Does that sound correct?
Yes. How to create a current and interesting, vibrant LinkedIn profile. Also one that's attractive visually and up to date.
Okay. Do you mind if we pull your profile up on screen as we talk about this, Jane?
Yeah. I also am trying to expand a consulting practice. So that's called.
Oh, Jane, you're going in and out on audio right now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you said you're starting a consulting practice called, and I didn't hear the rest of that.
Mastering business English for executives.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure how.
Is this you, Jane
Yeah.
Ransman? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
So mastering business English for executives is new. And in the past, I've been a marketing and communications consultant and was looking for a full-time job as well.
Okay. All right. So Jane, I'm going to start, and then we're going to go down the all-stars list we're going to go to Joey, Jude. I want to see if Megan has any advice. And then if anyone else has advice for you on your profile, I'll ask them to raise their hand. All right. I'm going to give you, I got to give her 3 things. I'm sorry, because these are all 3 jumping at me. The first is the alignment of your headshot photo. You're cut off. It's like my face is right now on the Zoom, and I can't see you, and I don't know why you're not centered in the frame. So if it's because your photo was taken and there's somebody off to your right-hand side and you needed to crop them out and then you need to get a new photo, if you do have more space and you can shift your photo, then you need to shift your photo, because your headshot should be perfectly aligned. Your face should be about 60% of the circle. I'm just going to keep going here so we can get a couple more tips in. Mastering business English for executives. The word mastering is being cut off on desktop. If you go into the mobile app, my guess is it's being cut off there too. So there's 2 things you can do. The first is stack it. So mastering business English is on one line, for executives on the second line. The other is reduce the point size. So there's 2 things there. And the other thing I'm noticing right away is Ransman Marketing. I'm not sure if that is your consulting business or not, but because it has a gray avatar, that means it's not linked to a company page. And I don't get that warm, fuzzy feeling that I get when I see logos next to your company. My advice for you is to set up a company page. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go through the all-stars and see if you have anything to add. And then Jane, I'll give you the time to add comments at the end. Sue, do you have anything you'd like to add for Jane? Sue saying no. Joey, do you have anything you'd like to add? Come on, guys. You're all-stars for a reason.
Well, I would suggest this, Jane. I would suggest that you either look at other individuals' profiles, and I would suggest you also check out some of Brenda's YouTube videos that she shows you how to create Canva, how to use Canva to create a background.
Yeah.
And, right. And I mean, there's a lot of work that has to be done. We can't tell you in 3 minutes how to make it better and more vibrant, but certainly see what other people are doing and get ideas from them.
I'm giving you and Joey and Sue, I'm giving you guys a hard time. You're probably doing that in interest of time, but I'm like, I want to make sure you don't feel like I'm not giving you the opportunity. All right, Jude, do you have any quick tips?
Yeah, I do. I think in like, again, can't do everything in a minute or 2, but in the about section, it's more about what the person's pain point is than what you do. It's important to let people know what you do, but you want, if I was going to be looking for someone who could help me with my executive business writing, I don't know if I'd want to read that first. I think I'd want to know how you could help me with my business writing. So even just focusing on, a person's pain point initially at the very top, because the first 4 lines in your about section are going to either make or break it, right? Either people will be intrigued to read more, or they'll just continue on.
Thank you very much.
Megan, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, a couple quick things. So first of all, Jane, I searched you on LinkedIn and there's 3 profiles for your name, 3. So I would see if so I did that quickly. And so I go in, and if those are also like you accidentally created 2 of those earlier, get those deleted. The second thing I would do is maximize your headline. To Jude's point, tell us what you do and why you do it in that headline where you just have senior executive. Okay, so if I'm looking for a senior executive in what? Like a senior executive in this, or so-and-so who does that. Like if you look at to go to Joey's point, so that's the second thing. Then the third thing, I'll echo actually what Brenda said. Get Ransman Marketing a logo. Get it, even if it's just your initials or monogram or whatever. And then the next piece of that, the last bonus, I'll share with you because I'm looking at it, is move your about section. You list some great credentials, add those to your specialties and credentials section. Instead of having them in your about section, also add them to that. So other than that, your picture's bright and I like that. Just move it over a smidge. So, oh, look at that. Canva, beautiful logos. There you go. Free. There's your logo.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Anyone else like to add any suggestions for Jane on her profile? You can unmute yourself or you can put your suggestions in chat.
Can I help? Can I add something if that's okay?
Yes, please. Who's this?
Yeah. So this is Dawn.
Go ahead, Dawn.
Something that's not connected with your profile, but just if you are on video at the moment, I saw you earlier on, I could see the top of your head. I just want to make sure if you're ever on interview that you don't appear with just the top of your head.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, that's.
Oh, you're talking about on Zoom. Yeah, I noticed that too. So let's take a second. I'm going to put everybody in gallery view. We're going to do a Zoom mini lesson. If Christopher Johnson was with us, he would. Oh, Christopher Johnson, please come to the front of the audience. Can you please tell us how we should align ourselves in our Zoom video? And then I want to get a group picture today too. So if you want to be in my picture, I'm going to use this in different places. Turn your video on. You're going to get a Zoom lesson real quick on alignment. And then I will give you fair warning before I take the picture. Christopher Johnson, the floor is yours, sir.
Good morning. Gee, my name is called and I suddenly appear. It is like magic. All right, so to align yourself on camera, on Zoom, on all the other virtual platforms, you should have just a few fingers of headspace between the top of your head and the top of the frame.
Oh.
If you can position your camera, it should be roughly arm's distance and eye level, maybe a smidge below eye level. Those will keep you centered in the frame and looking your best for virtual interviews, virtual engagements, such as the VIP hour on Friday.
Wonderful. So can I add to that, Christopher?
Absolutely.
I love the framing technique. You want to look at yourself right now and how you fill up the frame. You want to be like say about half the frame, but you want your face to be like the largest element inside the frame. The other thing I like to do is mirroring technique. So let's say I get on a Zoom call. Let me just show you. I'm going to put mine into spotlight view again. Let me take off Jane just a second here. And I need to make myself a spotlight here too. Okay, so Megan and I just got on a call. She's interviewing me. Megan, I just want you to stay where you are. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust my camera so I look like I'm at about the same height and distance to the camera. So I'm making myself, my tripod's not close to, I'm trying to make myself at about the same size and distance to the camera as Megan. So it doesn't look like I'm like this. Look how tiny I look on camera, nor does it look like I'm like this on top of the camera, right? So a mirroring technique on that.
Fun fact to that, Brenda, there's actually psychology that says if you mirror someone, you automatically make them more comfortable and more likely to trust you.
Jane, because your frame is a little bit further back, I'm not going to pick on you, but I want to ask you a couple questions to help you with this. Are you using the camera that's on your laptop?
Yes.
Okay. So technique to use there. This is the very untechnical thing. If you've got a shoebox or a pillow or something, I want you to prop your laptop up. So try to raise the height. It's not ideal if you're typing, Jane, but it will help to get that alignment fixed just for the purpose of the phone call. So if you've got a shoebox, a pillow, a couple board games, puzzle boxes, books, don't you all agree? Doesn't that look so much better right now? It doesn't look like she's sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
At the kids table, right? I mean, it's small things like that, right?
I'm going to say something else that typically happens on Zoom for me.
Please.
That other people's the view go down the right hand side, and you end up looking at the videos, so you end up looking across the screen. Or so I know the ones at the moment, they've been put towards the top. So when that doesn't happen automatically, so sometimes it depends on which group you're on, say, I then drag it to the top so that I'm looking towards the top of the screen, because that's where my camera is. And the other thing that people do is they look down here because they're looking at Jane. For example, I'm now looking at Jane at the bottom of the screen, but you can't see my face. The rest of you can't see. I need to look up here. So I need to be looking at the lens.
Yeah, that's human nature. We want to look at eyeballs as we're talking.
I
to
know,
people.
but it doesn't.
The technique is like if Dawn just asked me a question, I'm looking at the screen as she's asking the question. And then as I respond, I look at the camera. And you guys, it feels so odd looking at a piece of plastic instead of human eyes. It feels so weird, but it's going to look so much better from their point of view. It looks like you're making eye contact with them. And I'm tapping my camera if I look at the camera and not at you on the screen. So get in the habit of looking down while they're talking to you and looking at the camera when you're talking back to them. It just looks so much better on there.
I don't know if you can see it. Hold on.
No, you're holding up your phone and you got the green screen or something going in there.
Yeah, no. So actually I was trying to show you, I have a little post-it note that says, look here, especially when I'm on an interview, and I stick it right behind my camera. Yeah. So it reminds me to look up.
All right, we're going to do a group photo. If you would like to participate in the photo, this is your opportunity to get camera. Everybody's like sitting up straight. Think like you're a rock star right now. You're sitting up straight. You're looking fabulous because you're on the Fabulous Friday VIP Job Seeker Office Hours. Maybe I'll add the word fabulous to it. So you're going to look at the camera. I'm going to ask you to smile and hold it for 3, a count of 3. So I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, on the count of 3, and then I want you to smile for 3, 2, 1. Okay, ready? On the count of 3, look at the camera. On the count of 3, 2, 1, smile. All right, let me see if anybody's eyes are closed. If I need to do that again. A couple people weren't quite smiling. Need to do that again. Okay, smile and hold it for 3, 2, 1. Kenneth, your eyes were closed, sir. Third and best of the 3. Smile, look at the camera, and keep your eyes open. 3, 2, 1. All right. That's a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Everybody's laughing at that one too. It actually looks really natural because we all just kind of smiled and we laughed at what was just happening, which relaxes us, makes us feel more comfortable. You know, some just feeling a little goofy. It helps to kind of loosen up the stiffness that happens with those photos. So thank you all so much for that. I will be sharing your photo out, and I'm looking for new photos of the VIP Job Seeker Office Hours. So they actually might go on the landing page for that as well. So thank you all for participating in that. All right, we got about 5 minutes to go. We're 5 minutes to go in the schedule time. We're probably going to go a little bit over because I want to finish off a few questions. But in case anyone does have to leave early, I do want to just share something with you briefly before the time that we have scheduled ends, and we'll go a little bit over to do the Q&A. And that is this. I have announced through email that I am launching a new digital course, and I have a very exclusive, very time-sensitive opportunity for you to join and help me along the way, and also get access to the course when it launches. If you have not seen the email for me, I want you to go and search your email. The email title is called Exclusive Offer for the Experience Rich. I'm going to put that in chat right now in case you'd like to search for this in your email after you get off the phone call. And it's coming from my email system. So the sender name might not be Brenda at Meller Marketing. It might be like Meller Marketing Kajabi, something like that. At any rate, I am launching a new digital course, and I'm opening up 10 spots to enroll in this future course at a 50% discount in exchange for your feedback as I'm going through and making some decisions about course content and format, etc. So the course is actually going to launch on Monday, January 2nd. But over the next 9 weeks, I'm going to be looking for some feedback from these first 10 founding members who are going to be like my advisors on the process. Every Monday, I'm going to send you an email. You'll be asked to make some selections and choices to help me along the way. And then when the course opens up January 2nd, you'll get everything, including all the bonuses and everything else. This is your chance to get in at the lowest price ever. I will never be offering this price point again, and I'm only opening up to 10 people. I have already sold 4 spots. As of this morning, only 6 spaces remain. So if you want to be one of those 6, you have to sign up now. When the course goes live, it will be opened up at the $597 price point. So right now it's $298.50. David Mills, we'll get to your question. I'm going to finish all the questions, but I did want to do this short mention before anybody drops off at 11. So hold on, we will get through all questions today. All right, so that is what I wanted to share there. The other thing I wanted to share is I was at a recruiter event yesterday, Michigan's recruiter conference, and I had a conversation with an organization that's in the healthcare field, and they've got job postings across the US. I'm blanking on their name right now, but what I'm going to do is later on today, I'm going to go into the VIP Job Seeker Resources group, and I'm going to tag the name of that employer along with the website so you can look up job postings that they have. I mentioned to them this group and they said, tell your people about our company because we're hiring everywhere right now. So I mentioned that I would, and they have administrative positions. They do have positions for RNs and doctors and things like that as well, but they do have non-medical positions that they are hiring for. If you are not already a part of my group, go into chat right now and click on the link. It is a private unlisted group. Private means you cannot find it in the group's directory. You can only find it if I give you the link. And unlisted means it's not going to show publicly on your profile. I also have this set up that I have to admit you into the group. So when you come to this page, you're going to see a button that will say request to join. If you click on request to join, then I will see that you have knocked on the door, so to speak, and then I can let you inside the group. Part of the reason I do this is because I want to make sure that the people that are in this group for the right reasons. You are a job seeker. You are either unemployed, underemployed, in between successes, open to work, or you're people like Joey and Jude and Mindy and Kenneth who are supporting the job seeking community. I'm trying to keep out the wrong people and keep in the right people. And as you get inside the group, you're going to see there's 750 other group members. So there's an opportunity to grow your network, especially for those folks that are under 500 connections. You can quickly get to 500 connections by inviting people to connect with you and mentioning that you're a part of the VIP job seeking community through Brenda Meller. So drop my name in there. I've just admitted Jane and Elizabeth inside there. And then later on today, like I said, I'm going to put the name of that company and their job board. So all of you can take a look at those positions. Okay, I think those were the things I needed to cover off before we got to the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to continue on now with Q&A and success stories. If you do need to drop, you can watch the YouTube playback. But if you can stay on with us, stay on because we're going to finish off all the questions that are on here for today. All right, David, you said did you have a question or were you just wondering about questions? I'm going to give you the floor right now, David. Did you have a question for us for today?
I actually do have a question, and it was, if you scroll up, you'll see it, but I guess I'll just tell you.
Yeah, just go ahead and tell us a question.
Right. Yeah. When I'm making like a target list of companies I want to pursue, and or if eventually when I will at some point get an interview, before then I need to prepare for it to learn about the company. What sorts of things when I'm looking at the company website do I want to look up in my research? And I am assuming I just have the company website to go by in most cases.
Okay, so I'm going to bring a couple of our all-stars back up on the panel here today because I think this is definitely an all-star type of a question here that we're going to look for. Sue, question is, what do I research on a company if I'm thinking about them as a target company? Do you have any thoughts there?
Well, again, I'm going to go back to what I learned from you, Brenda, about do the warm networking with them, see what they're posting on LinkedIn, on the company page, and on their active employees. And I recommend that now all the time, Brenda, as a great entry into networking. But also, even though you're not necessarily ready or being asked to interview, as I said earlier, think about what you contribute to them and their mission that you can say in the first 6 months, here's what I can bring your division, your group, whatever. They really want to know. And I read this the other day, recruiters were writing the same thing. Everyone is so busy. You have to connect the dots between your previous work and transferable skills, even if it was identical to whatever the company role is they're asking you to do. Everybody wants to be led by the hand and brought along, like, just tell me what you can do for me. So that's my advice.
Awesome. Thank you, Sue. Joey, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
I go back to, if it's a public company, go to their 10K. If it's not, start Googling them. To Megan's point, not only do the news, you can set up a news alert. So as information gets published about the company, you'll get the alerts will be pushed to you via Google. So
wait a second, you said if it's a public company, go to their 10K. What the hell is that?
Exactly. So if it's a public company, the Security Exchange Commission requires that they file a report. It's called a 10K, and it's a summary of their business from soup to nuts. And if it's a public company, it's public knowledge, and you have access to it online.
Where could we look that up, Joey? Because I'm going to ask on behalf of David and other people. Like, could you just Google 10K for
Apple?
Ford Motor Company?
Let's say you want to apply for a job at Apple, right? You type in Apple 10K. Everything you want to know that's public knowledge about Apple that they have had to talk about. Again, who the competition is, the risks that they deal with in their industry, supply chain issues. I mean, soup to nuts, right? A to Z. Everything you want to know about Apple is in their 10K. If it's a public company. If they're not public, they don't have to divulge that information. You got to go find it. That's what I'm saying. If you do the alerts, to what Megan was saying, search for news. But I think that this hidden job market is so viable out there. Start looking in your LinkedIn network to see if you can find people that you know or know people that know people that work at that company. And then you can get the inside scoop. Again, whether it's public or not, you'll get the inside scoop from these people, and you'll learn more about the culture. And a lot of that stuff is never printed in a 10K report. So just food for thought.
So in that I'm sorry, in that 10K report, do they have to like list a series of questions? It's not just an advertisement for the company, but the
It's
bad
not
stuff
an
is also
advertisement.
good?
It's a little bit of an advertisement for the company, a little bit, but they all have to, there's a form that they all have to fill out.
Okay.
For the SEC. And again, it's I'm at a loss for what all the topics are, but it's not a 5-page report. It's a long report.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you have insomnia,
how long?
If you have 65, 80 pages, if you have insomnia, get a report and start reading it at night, and you'll fall asleep.
Oh, jeez.
I was going to jump in because of
somebody has to do this stuff.
Well, yeah, the 10K is definitely a great resource, and I don't want to discount that at all. It's just, it's massive. And if you're looking at 10 or 15 or 20 companies, you might not have time. Fine. And I put this in the comments earlier for the young lady who was looking for tips right before her interview, and then someone else put it in the comments as well. Look at their investor relations page, and they should have a PowerPoint deck, which is usually closer to 10 to 15 slides. It's much more distilled into just a few key items. Often you can get their strategy. If someone comes into an interview with me and says, this is your revenue, this is your profit, this is your strategy, like that's very impressive to me. And I'm in finance, so obviously that's my area of expertise. But start in investor relations and look for that investor relations deck. And then if you need more details beyond that, then go to the 10K. That's my suggestion, because you're going to start with 10 PowerPoint slides, which you can flip through in 10 minutes. That's going to be a lot quicker than a 100-page document, which to Joey's point is very valuable. And I'm not discounting that. It's going to be a lot quicker for you to digest a PowerPoint.
All right, Megan, do you want to add anything? Oh, Megan. Oh, I get to use my sign. Hold on. Let's highlight my.
Go for it. Yay, you are muted. Okay. Actually, Brenda, do I have permission to share my screen?
I think so. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to do a hack that I do that I think it's the soft way. Yes, you're doing research, but no offense, research never trumps people, right? So if you know someone, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a hack that not many people know. So does everyone see my screen with Kelly's post? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. So let's do Rubbermaid, because I used to work there. Okay. So Rubbermaid commercial products. So what I'm going to do, you're going to go search the company. You have the option here of filtering it, but then I'm going to click Rubbermaid commercial. First thing I'm going to do, like Joey said, setting up the news alerts in Google. Following them is like setting up news alerts in Google for yourself. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on 603 employees, and then I'm going to click on what we call all filters. Now, click second degree connections and scroll down. And then you can search by service categories, you can search by title. So you may be wanting to get into marketing just on a whim. Well, okay, so there's no one in marketing right now that's listed. So let me remove all filters, go back to Rubbermaid, right? So I'm just going to do Rubbermaid here. We'll do Rubbermaid Home Products, another one. Click all filters. Come down here. I'm going to go, you know what? I really want to know what their industry is. So I want to get into the marketing and advertising space. And then I want to know if they're in the US. So I'm going to click those, click second, and I'm going to click show. And then all these second degree connections will come up. And all you have to do is send an invite and say, hey, you know, as a follower and a user of X brand, I'm impressed with your work and I'd love to connect and engage on LinkedIn. Thank you for your time. Send. The message can be literally that simple. And I will tell you, I've had like a 90% success rate on people accepting that invite. It's, hey, I'm impressed with your brand. I appreciate your work. I'd like to connect and engage on LinkedIn. Now, the bonus is, say it's Kelly. If Kelly has certain things on, she doesn't have it listed, but like it'll tell you what they're talking about or what they're mentioning. You can also say, I'd love to engage this one here. Jamie does it in Orlando. So Jamie talks about all this. So I'll send a message to Jamie and go, hey, as a former Rubbermaid employee or as someone who follows the Rubbermaid brand, I'd love to engage on LinkedIn about marketing, leadership, and like cite one of these. Thank you for your time and consideration. That's also going to let those posts show up more often in your feed to what the employees are interacting with. So that's my hack. Help. So a different way to send an invite. And if you want, I'll drop that in the chat of my message. Hi, so-and-so.
And that's in the recording too, Megan. So people can watch the recording. Ooh, another reason. Paige, could you drop the recording link in chat again if you're still on the call, if you wouldn't mind? I'd appreciate it. And we'll also put that in the VIP group. Who else did we not get to? Sue, I think we had you, right? Jude, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, when I'm researching a company, the first thing I do is, as you said, David, go to the website. And then I look for something that really catches my eye. And so that means I'm not reading everything thoroughly. I'm just kind of scanning, and I'm scanning each of the drop-down menus. Because sometimes if you scan those drop-down menus, you can find names of people, number one, and you can find some really interesting information. So when I find that interesting nugget or those few interesting nuggets, that's something that I can use to reach out and use in a message, as Megan said, when I'm reaching out to someone in the company. And because you're really interested, that will come across in your message. And that's a great way to get started and be motivated to pursue other avenues when you're researching the company.
Well, I have one other point to make. Thank you, Jude. Yeah. David, you question whether the internet has replaced the library for research. In some respects, it has. But I will tell you this, and Megan alluded to it. If you walk into a library and you befriend a research librarian, you have another person in your corner who knows so many people and links to so much information. If you tell anybody I told you that, I'll deny this conversation ever took place, right? But those research librarians feel like nobody wants to talk to them anymore because of the internet. You know what? Walk in there, man, and become their friend. I'm telling you.
How do I become their friend?
You walk in, you say, I need help. Help me find
Oh my
job.
God. As a friend of the library, Christopher Johnson and I did a whole LinkedIn Live on this.
Yeah.
The resources from your local library for job seekers in the access they have to business reports is out of this world. Second, to Joey's point, they went to school to do research.
Right. And,
they
and
went
the
to
school
to learn
for everybody
to
on
research.
For everybody on the call, just as important, you need to become friends with people that know a lot of people, like your hairstylist, like the librarian, like your auto mechanic. People that service the public know a ton of people. And the chances are great that you'll find somebody who knows someone that initially you never would have met had you not brought your car in for service, or gotten your hair cut, or walked into a library and said to a research librarian, what is this Reference USA I've heard about? Or what's a 10K? You ask them, what's a 10K? They're going to be your friend for an hour. I'm telling you, this is an untapped resource that most people don't use. Get in the library. It's there. It's free. You pay for it. It's free. Sorry.
All right.
It's
I love the
okay.
rant.
Joey's going to be my LinkedIn Live Libraries 2.0.
I'm sorry.
Okay, one last thing, and then we're going to move off of this question, if that's okay. David, this is something I heard from someone, and I can't remember who it was. I wish I could give them credit. If you're trying to research the company to figure out, this is your target company research list, go and look up their LinkedIn company page and see what jobs they have listed, because that's going to show you where they are investing in growth for the company right now. If you see a lot of sales positions and things like that, it kind of shows you where those are, or if maybe there's engineering, you can see that that's where their focus is, or maybe there's talent acquisition or talent recruiters. You can see where their focus is for the company. I think that helps to show where there's growth. It was a brilliant tip I heard from them. I'm like, oh, I never thought about that. But now that I heard it, I'm like, I got to tell that to other people. David, was this helpful for you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We're not going to leave you hanging. I sorry I gave you angst there. What was that?
I have one more tip.
Dawn, what's up?
And it may be that it's not used in the US. I might be the only person from the UK, I'm not sure, on the call. But I use Glassdoor, and so hopefully it's used in the US as well. And that actually gives reviews by people that are either at the company at the time that they write the review, and often as they've left the company, they give reviews as well. Now, sometimes that might give a skewed observation about it. However, they're normally honest reviews rather than a marketing ploy, which you'll see on the brand's own website, which will give this most fantastic view. So you'll get a balanced view about what the company is like and why people have left. Now, you do need, it's a bit like TripAdvisor, where if you go to a hotel, you need to perhaps get rid of the ones with number one. Look at the whole review. And
Dawn, do you mind if I jump in? Because I want to keep us moving along. I apologize for jumping in. So I completely agree with you. Glassdoor is great. What I will say happens on Glassdoor, I remember this research term, it's called bifurcation. If you're a researcher, you know what I'm talking about. Bifurcation means you get the super, super rock stars on this side that are like, this company is awesome, it's a 10. And on this side, you get the people who hate the company. That tends to be who draws out the reviews. You don't get the middle too much. So keep in mind what they say. What I look for is if there's negative comments about the company, did the company respond to the Glassdoor reviews? Did they say, thank you, we take these things into consideration? Did they acknowledge them at all? That's what I look for, because that shows me a strong company culture. They're trying to help and manage and shape and evolve their company brand.
Maybe.
Okay. Awesome.
Maybe.
Thank you. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they kind of are hands off. If they're hands off and there are a lot of negative reviews, I don't know, there might be an issue that could be a red flag, run, but I love Glassdoor.
That was my point. You can look at the balanced view.
Yeah, look at the balance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So the time is now 11:15. I've actually got to get going and get ready for my next phone call. There were a few additional questions we did not get to for today, but I do need to start wrapping us up. I will keep the Zoom open, but I'm going to stop the recording right now. I'm going to take myself off. If Sue, Joey, others, Megan, you'd like to stay on for questions, you're more than welcome. Or if anyone else from the group wants to stay on and help to answer the questions, you're more than welcome. But I've got to leave for now. Does anyone want to take over as hosting as I leave here? Going once, twice?